Hey guys.
Hey.
Today we want to talk to you about 5 sacrifices that we made in our 20s to be financially independent in our 30s. So we became financially independent age 34 and it took us around 10 years to do so.
Yeah, and we did this using a combination of strategies around property investing, stock market investing, career maximization, and starting a bunch of businesses. If you're watching this video today and thinking that this journey towards financial independence is an impossible one, we'd really suggest having a rethink around how to actually start this journey practically. Gaining clarity to actually start this journey towards financial independence is usually the hardest part of getting started. And this is exactly why we've started this channel here on YouTube. If you're really enjoying today's video, we'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button, because that really just helps to encourage this video to be watched by many other people. All right, let's jump straight in. This is going to be a super casual chat, isn't it, Ben?
Yeah, got it.
All right, let's dive in and get started. Okay, so the first sacrifice we made is that we decided not to have more children. Now, this is a very sensitive topic and one that many people can relate to in different ways. We're completely aware, to be very clear, that children are not for everybody. Not everybody wants a child, because raising children is very difficult. Even we know that. It's very, very challenging practically, and it's very expensive. So we want to just start out by making that point. And not everybody can have children as well. So we, again, understand that sensitivity. So I wanted to just mention that. But a big thing for us was actually this decision. In case you guys don't know, Mary and I have 2 sons, and they are aged 6 and 8.
Yeah.
But there's always been almost not a debate, but had quite a lot of pressure around going for a 3rd child.
We definitely have, from both our parents, to try for another girl. But yeah, it's something that it's more you than me, because I was happy to have another one, but Ken is more a numbers guy and thinks very practically and logically, where I'm like, if there's a will, there's a way. Yeah. But now we're kind of just decided on 2 children, because it just makes more sense, the kind of lifestyle that we live. And it still remains a tricky. You can see clearly that, between Mary and I, Mary definitely did want to maybe go for it. But like you say, I think in a relationship, you do need to have that balance, and you can't have everything you want in life. There's always a real trade-off. Yeah.
It's kind of how we approached it. And we knew that if we wanted to achieve financial independence by a certain stage of our lives, we kind of needed to be very practical around what it means from a numbers perspective to kind of raise another child, basically.
Yeah.
So for us, it remains a big, we see it as a sacrifice in our own personal situation. But it'd be interesting to know what you guys think about this idea. Are you someone who maybe has decided that you might not have any kids at all, or that you might stop at 1 child, or that you might not have a 3rd child? It'd be very interesting to know. Let us know in the comments what you guys think.
Because we recently put a poll out, a question out in our community on Instagram, and funnily enough, quite a few people did say that they chose not to have children to help them reach their financial independent goals, which was quite interesting to us actually. But it was a choice that they made, not that they couldn't have children, but they chose not to have children. So it'll be interesting to know from you guys, is that something that you have done personally to help you reach your goals faster?
Worth mentioning, if you've not seen the video we made about the real cost of raising a child, you definitely want to see that video. I'm going to put the links to it below and above for you to head over and check it out. It's really, really quite shocking what it really costs to raise a child.
Okay, so sacrifice number 2 is jobs that we're passionate about.
Yeah, so this is an interesting one. What we're really saying here is that we, on our career journeys, we had things that we could explore as passions or areas of interest, but what we actually did was very different. So for example, I did accounting and finance, that sort of stuff. A lot of my career was in senior finance. In accounting, I worked as chief financial officer, and I went down through that career path a big part of it was because I was going to be remunerated very well. Let's be completely honest, full transparency. And that's really worked out for us because all through my career, I was able to hit that six figures quite early, on my journey, kind of in my late 20s, and, earn a decent income. And a big part of our journey was then all about how do we use that money that we're making to help us accelerate our goals towards financial independence. Now, not to mention, I wanted to do other types of jobs. I wanted to work in the charity sector. I wanted to use my skills to contribute in different ways. So the way I compensated for that was to do, charitable things in my part-time, things, volunteering here and there as ways for me to give back. How did you experience this on our journey as well? Mind sharing?
Yeah, so I'd say that I left kind of sort of the luxuries of the corporate world and, my multimedia background to help to, do something totally different to help expand our family business, which was running a nursery, something which I had no prior knowledge,
no experience at all.
No experience at all, but it was something that was already tried and tested. We already had, the model, we knew it worked. And so to expand and to work in that industry, I knew that it wasn't something that we were definitely going to make a profit out of it regardless of the changes from one career to another. It was kind of guaranteed. So there was comfort in that transition for me.
Yeah, and plus, not to forget to mention, you had to do a whole new qualification.
Exactly.
You had to learn about like the rules around childcare and, safeguarding and stuff like that.
Yep. So I was pregnant, I retrained, changed careers, everything. It was a lot going on, but there was definitely value in doing so. And it was part of what did help us,
massively,
into our journey towards financial independence.
Yeah, and saved us a lot on childcare, I should mention as well, because you worked in the childcare industry.
Yes.
It meant that we didn't have to spend thousands and thousands and thousands on childcare costs during those early years, and therefore saved that money, invested it, and that helped to accelerate our journey towards financial independence as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so the third sacrifice we made was on friendships that didn't serve us. Okay. So this is more of a sensitive one as well, because there's a reason why they have that saying that you are the average of the 5 people you hang around with the most. That saying is most certainly true. And the thing we learned on our journey is that, not all your friends will have the same mindset as you've got. This journey towards financial independence can be quite a lonely one in many ways, because many people might think you're a bit crazy. And, remember, we were doing this before this became the FIRE movement and all of that. Yeah, so, people didn't really understand what we were trying to achieve. And, it was very difficult trying to explain to your friends that, we're trying to pay off our mortgage, or we're trying to, create this option of early retirement in our 30s. It was just very, very unusual. People kind of looked at you a bit weird. So what we noticed over time, particularly me anyway, more me than Mary, is that my friendship circle started to change. It didn't mean that I didn't really have those friends anymore. It just meant that I spent less time with them. And I found that I was directing a lot more of my intentional time with friends that had quite similar mindsets, people who were open to, kind of playing the game differently and not necessarily wanting to work till they were 65 or 67 to retire, but who were actually open to doing it in their 30s, almost choosing that alternative path to doing life. And so hanging around with those people helped kind of reinforce this belief that it was possible, even for us, being a young Black family in the UK, the key word there being, family as well. Having children makes this journey quite difficult.
Yeah.
But having those people around really just helped to almost improve that mindset that I needed to kind of keep going on this journey, because it can be quite challenging.
That's right. I mean, luckily for me, my friends, like you said, pretty much I kept my friendships because although a lot of them went through the traditional route of the 9 to 5, they were also very entrepreneurial and, they have their side hustles on the side, so we can bounce ideas off each other and encourage each other as girls do. So, yeah. Okay, so the next sacrifice was expensive cars, clothes, and home.
This is a big one. We've basically rolled a lot of quite big things into this one.
Yeah.
Do you want to share some insights?
Yeah, so we decided to move away from buying expensive cars to driving cars which truly made sense for us in terms of our goals and our lifestyle.
Yeah, let's be specific. So we used to drive, things like an Audi and Mercedes and things like that. And over time, as kind of our decision and our choice to simplify our lifestyle kind of moved on. We moved on to driving, much used cars, we drive an electric car now, a Nissan Leaf, a I don't know what year, 2013, I think. And we've been driving that for about 5 years now, part of our journey. But a big part of this journey has been about just that shift away. And I think this is the thing that a lot of people struggle with. It's that shift away from doing something the way that everybody else does it to doing it how you want to do it.
That's right. I mean, it was a no-brainer for us also to move to a full electric car because, you know, our lifestyle changed in that I stopped working in the city. So I was not, you know, traveling to work by the train. I was constantly driving to work and doing the school run, using a lot of petrol. And so it just made so much sense financially, economically to switch to a full EV. So that definitely helped me change, you know, from that mindset of having the nice cars and, you know, the natural progression would have been to, you know, get the Q7.
Yeah, get like a Jeep or something.
Which is what we had our eyes on. But it definitely helped us change our mindset, for me anyway, personally.
Yeah, and the other thing as well is where you live. So housing costs is one of the biggest costs people have really when it comes to this journey of achieving financial independence. We chose to live on the outskirts of London. We could have bought, our salaries alone could have bought a property in excess of maybe £800,000 or whatever. We could have bought like quite expensive property in London. But we chose to actually buy one that was 320 something thousand. And that made a huge difference for us because it meant that we took on relatively little compared to people buying in London. When it came to borrowing, you know, we bought a home that really just worked for what goals we were trying to achieve.
Exactly. It meant that we didn't have to, you know, move from a flat into like another small apartment or house, but we could actually buy a house which we're very comfortable in with, you know, 4-bed house because we knew we wanted to start a family. Yeah.
And worth mentioning, by the way, nothing wrong with living in a flat. I should mention that. But it's just, again, this journey towards financial independence is a very personal journey. So you have to do what works for you specifically. And for us, for our journey, sort of lifestyle we were looking for, that sort of house, given we were going to have children, or the plans were anyway to have children, really just worked for us.
That's right.
All right, so the final sacrifice we made was the free time we had to rest. Wow, listen, right, our 20s was a graft.
Yeah,
I feel like we just hustled so much in our 20s, like whether it's in a demanding job, whether it's running various side hustles, whether it's doing an extra degree, I did an MBA, or having children, you being pregnant for, I don't know, how long? How many years? You know, there was just so much going on.
Yeah.
And a lot of our lives, we were tired a lot in our 20s.
Yeah, exactly. But we didn't stop. So whilst you were studying, you were still working full time.
Yeah.
Whilst I was pregnant, growing children, I was still also working full time. And we started a side hustle as well.
Yeah.
Juggled all of this and I retrained. So a lot was going on. I remember my friend saying to me, Mary, you made it look so easy. Like, how did you do it? To me, literally, when I think about it, it's just all a blur. I don't really know because we didn't even sit still to even think like that. We were just non-stop.
Yeah.
You know, early mornings, late nights.
Late nights, yeah.
But we knew that it wasn't like that all the time. We knew that it did kind of slow down in terms of the intensity of the amount of work that we put in. But there is like a time for everything. So we knew that this was not going to be
forever.
Yeah. You know, but it's paid off for us. So.
Yeah, and plus we knew as well that the more you do in your 20s, the more you can see those returns in your 30s, stuff like that. Obviously, compounding as a general principle, you know, speaks to that. You know, so we knew that we needed to kind of catch up in many ways in our lives. You know, with me being, you know, first generation immigrant to this country, there's just so many things that we needed to catch up on. You know, Mary coming from a similar background herself with her parents. Yeah. So those the years in our 20s was just a hard graft, and you know, if you can relate to that, it'd be good to actually hear from you in the comments. You know, if you're currently in your 20s, do you find that you're grafting a lot more because you're trying to set yourself up really well in your 30s? It'd be great to hear from you guys in the comments below.
So guys, let us know in the comments, what sacrifices are you making now to help you reach financial independence? Or for those who already have reached financial independence, or you're nearly there, what sacrifices did you have to make in your 20s to help you along that journey towards financial independence? We'd love to hear in the comment section.
Guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're really enjoying the content we're putting out here on The Humble Penny. We'd really appreciate you supporting us by subscribing to our channel. Don't forget to hit that like button as well if you really like this video. We'd love for you to actually show that support and share this video with one other person. Thank you so much for watching today's video, guys.
Thank you, guys.
And as ever, in all things,
be thankful and seek joy.
Take care, guys. Bye.